Hello everybody and welcome back to our Thursday night farm sim live stream. Hope everyone's doing well. Farmer G, Waylon, Nathan, how are y'all doing tonight? We've got ourselves into a beet problem. These are not red beets. They are not. They're coming in a couple months with the premium expansion. Premium expansion, platinum expansion. Man, you'd think they could come up with a different name. Everyone's going to be getting those mixed up. Don't you think? Alright, let's go haul these things. We're going to be running a ton of beets. I did have half a mind to buy the beet factory afterwards. It should be loaded up with beets. What it should be. Eric, what's up? How does it go? Super Buffo, how's it going? Well, I mean, back in, what was it, FS 15 had the gold edition. I think the platinum expansion should have been the silver expansion, because it was silver unforced after all. And then we could have had platinum this year, which would included everything. It's like the whole warning watch thing with the weather service. Which is better, a warning or a watch? It's always backwards, right? So are people going to think the premium edition is better, or the platinum edition is better? If you just heard the word, you can buy the premium edition or the platinum edition. Which do you think would be better? I'd be curious. The premium platinum edition, as opposed to the standard platinum edition, or the deluxe platinum edition. Tricky, sad news. Sad news, I think, on the FarmCon coverage. I'll talk about that once we get into the real show. How much does this thing cost us? 120 G's. Dang. You know what someone told me? Someone told me, and I don't know if it's true or not. Someone told me in the video where I talked about how you can sell productions, basically having to use the dev console command to sell productions back. Somebody told me you can go into build mode and hit sell, and it doesn't destroy the building. At least that's what they implied. I told him, like, look, I don't know. This is how it worked back when the game was released. You know, you see when the video was made. So if it's different, I'm sorry, the video didn't age well. Maybe they changed that in an update. I don't know. There's so much stuff in those change logs. Too many words. I didn't bother reading it. A cruel soul that wants to separate you from your money. This further down the road. I just need someone to read it to me. There we are, we made it back. Aw, dang. I didn't do enough of a headland on this end of the field. Alright, I'll get that taken care of. I mean, I told the story the other day when I was recording the Texas map video. Right, I was recording that the day before the premium edition released. And I'd already known about the premium edition. I had recorded the video covering the premium edition's release before I covered the map. So we were under a information embargo until the next day. Well, I went and accidentally said the premium expansions productions as opposed to platinum expansion productions. And I was like, well, shoot. Now I gotta go and redo that whole segment because I can't misspeak there. So I can see that happening going forward quite a bit. Now, I think once the premium edition releases, or premium expansion releases, I'll probably just say expansion productions and be at it with that. Right? Does the map cover the expansion productions or not? Off we go! Another full load. It's kind of hazy here. I was wondering. I didn't know if it was the smoke from Canada still. Is that thing still going on? Oh, look, the character ain't green yet. Yeah, tree production or tuber it starts with a T. Dang it. Hello everybody! Welcome back to Carpathian Countryside in our Farming Simulator 22 and a gameplay live stream series. We've been chatting it up, talking about the Premium Edition, Platinum Edition, FarmCon, Steam Summer Sale, all types of ways to separate money from your wallet. How's everybody doing tonight? Tookie's looking to buy all types of games, not on sale. Starfield, not on sale. Dang it. How's everybody doing tonight? Grenade Racer, GoldenEye, Sipper Buffo. We got Eric here. We got Nathan in the house. Waylon may or may not be here. He drops in and then I think he goes... leaves the tab up and goes off and does stuff. Farmer G! Farmer G was the first in-house tonight. You gotta get up all for early in the morning to beat Waylon in the chat. That's for sure. David, how is it in Arizona? It's a dry heat. It's a dry heat in Arizona. I bet you Arizona doesn't have that that Canadian smoke. Oh no! Oh no! Bad things have happened to me. I bet you Tukey's tossing down all those laughs. Yeah. You knows, Tukey. And I got some fun July 4th plans. It is July 4th weekend coming up. I work a half day tomorrow and then I get 4.5 days off. Don't go back to work till next Wednesday. Gotta like that, don't you? I don't care who you are. You gotta like that. Canada Day is Sunday, Saturday. That's Canada's Independence Day. Who watches the Independence Day movie on Independence Day? I was watching an Adam Savage tested channel video, and he was doing some coverage of some movie prop auctions, and one of the movie props that were being auctioned was a screen matte painting from the movie Independence Day. And apparently that's the thing. Apparently people watch Independence Day on Independence Day. I mean, I thought it was an okay movie and all, but I don't know if I want to celebrate a holiday by watching that movie every single time. Desert Ox, I don't know how to tell you this. I'm not really sure how to tell you this, Desert Ox. But Carpathian Countryside is not, it's not from the Isle of the UK. It's sorry. It's a bit more Eastern European in nature. I would say it would fit quite well with the premium expansion, actually. Now, a great UK map we're checking out is the one that I did a map video on yesterday. Number 750. I have completely blanked on the name at this point. It's one of those UK names that I don't know how to say. But yeah. Oh, David, glad you can enjoy us while you're at work. Well, I mean, I think Christmas Story is more of akin to being a holiday cult classic. But I never really pictured Independence Day as a holiday memoriam movie. Well, you know, whatever. Yeah, Glenn Lethan. But you know, I mean, if you want to celebrate your freedom and your independence by watching Will Smith go Breaking Bad on some aliens every year, what am I to say? Okay. Yeah, well, there's a lot to like on this map. A lot of large fields, right? Not a lot of fields that have really tight to get around. Decent sized roads to get around here. A very large industrial style farm. Now what is really nice about Glen Lethan is it's got 5 farms. In new farmer mode, they're all built out, but you could choose to put the map up on a server, and if you load the map up in Farm Manager at that point, all the farms are blank slates. So you can have 5 players building their own farms to their own whims, and then having over 100 fields to work with. Right, so it's got really good things going on for multiplayer. And then, speaking about building out your farms, we had the American Farm Building Packet dropped the other day from, what was it, Bernie? It's the same farm pack that is on the Pennsylvania map. That smallish map that I covered several months ago. It's a building pack that's been available over at moddingwelt.com, I think. Glad to see him get that released on the Giants Mod Hub for all platforms. At least I think it was for all platforms. Well, Great Racer, the one thing is that it's so hard. It's so hard to like have maps in the can, right? Put maps on the waiting list, but then more maps come out that go on the waiting list, and then you start struggling with what's the waiting list order, and then you get so many maps on the waiting list, you're like, I can't I can't reasonably play. I got 10 maps on the waiting list. And let's say you like to play any one given map for a period of 2 months, right? So you got to have 20 months of game time, assuming no other maps come out to go on your playlist. I think you got to think to yourself, well, am I going to have 20 months before the next farm sim comes out? Yeah, I don't know. And then, right, then you end up with what I call the list of regrets. The maps you wanted to play but never got around to. And now you don't want to play that FS22 anymore because the next FS is out. The list of regrets. I think it's hope. Well, I hope the maps on my list of regrets comes out in the next version of the game because I'll definitely play those. And that'll work for a little bit, but then it all starts again. Dang it, too many maps, not enough time to play. Because you can't just put in a couple weeks. You gotta really dive in. You gotta invest time into a map. Well, Desert Ox, that's the general MO for most UK maps, is a cramped, tight yard, narrow lanes, narrow roads, difficult entrances into fields. Desert Ox, I think the list will be longer because now we have another year for people to release maps. At least another year. Right. I mean, let's pretend we were still under Focus Home Interactive. We would be less than 6 months away from the release of a new game. Today. Anybody that hadn't released a map today might as well just plan on trying to release it early next time. And we saw that. We saw that happen with 19 and 22. People that had maps in development, and then they go and announce the new version of the game. They're just like, oh, forget it. I'm shelving the product until the next version of the game comes out. And then I'll pick it back up from there. But then there were such drastic differences between map making styles or techniques that they then had to relearn various techniques on how to do the maps, which even delayed them even further. So by knowing that we're not getting a map new game this year, maps that are still in development will continue to be developed. We'll just get even more maps that'll come out. And as we go, they're just going to become better and better. Right? Like if you go back and you look. You go back and you look at the early playlists of the map videos. Maps that looked really well back then. Early FS22 maps, right? That were the impressive maps. There were plenty that weren't so impressive, but the impressive early maps, if they were to release today, I think they would be kind of average at best. Because I think over the last year and a half, things have just gotten that much better with people's techniques, skill sets on using the new texturing stuff, other shaders, just general things. Yeah, exactly, Farmer G. Exactly, because they just don't age well. I mean, you can seriously tell. Even Glenn Lethan, okay? Not to talk bad about anyone, but even Glenn Lethan, those UK style buildings, the green sided buildings, they look good at probably 100 yards away. But any closer than that, and they do not stand up compared to an FS22 building that might be right adjacent to it. And we saw that with some of his maps, even in 19. There, he would have some really nice looking buildings that he made and textured, and then he'd put some older stuff next to it, and it just stood out like a sore thumb. And I don't know what goes involved in retexturing a building. That's just not my skill set at all. But I could imagine that trying to go back and retexture a bunch of buildings would be time consuming. And quite honestly, while players will be nostalgic over a map they really enjoyed, there are certain things that's just, they had their day and it's time to move on. No, one thing it's not time to move on. This video is brought to you by Diablo del Toro and Dwayne Unruh. Thank you for being farm barons. Oh, here he comes popping the hill. I was starting to wonder where he was. Like I thought from Creative Mesh's discussion at last FarmCon, when he was talking about pumps and hoses that was coming out, I thought for sure he basically said something like straw harvest was good for 17 and 19, but we'd like to kind of focus on new projects as opposed to, you know, constantly bringing up and reimagining the past. So I was a little surprised to see that teaser they posted earlier this week. I think a lot of people think it's straw harvest. I kind of think it is straw harvest too. So it'll be interesting to see what comes of that, and if that's announced at FarmCon. Well, Desert Ox, that was a thing, right? We had farmhouses we could go into in FS19, and then FS22 comes and we can't enter the farmhouses again. And it just felt like one step forward, two steps back. Now, speaking of FarmCon, last couple years with COVID and all, FarmCon was also streamed. That does not seem like it's going to be the case this year. And that's a pretty big letdown for lots of folks, including myself. So, covering it would have meant getting up at like 4 in the flipping morning tomorrow. But, no, not tomorrow, Saturday. But, right, the ability to be online kind of with other folks and experience the announcements and the sessions live when those at the show are also able to experience those. Now, from what I understand, the sessions will be posted on the YouTube Farm Sim community channel after FarmCon. I have no idea what type of a delay there will be. So I don't know if Saturday stuff will be posted on Sunday or if FarmCon stuff will be posted next week. But the word I get from Kermit is basically the internet availability at Dude's Far is pretty not so hot. Now they are going to be doing some streaming of the FSL event. But I think that is going to be on Sunday. But from what I understand, there will be recorded information. There will be blog posts that are already scheduled to go up and go live. So we will be able to at least have text and maybe screenshots, maybe videos of whatever videos that they're playing at the event. I think I'm going to be in the same boat as you guys of basically seeing the blog posts go live at the same time. I don't think I'm going to have the ability to create any content specific to any of the announcements ahead of time. So there's always next year, maybe. Because maybe next year we're announcing Farm Sim 25. Maybe. Speculation abounds. Speculation abounds as to what mystery pack number 3 is of the year 2 season pass. I don't know if we're going to get any information about that. Speculation abounds as to what this 6th map is that was alluded to in the premium edition announcement. It said the premium edition would have access to 7 packs, 2 expansions, and 6 maps, implying that all 6 maps will have agriculture, forestry, and animal husbandry, which kind of eliminates the idea that one of those 6 maps is the arena map or the bale stacking map. It's a good question, Desert Ox. Right, we have Erlengrot that brought over from 19. That poor map gets no love. I can't tell you how many people asked what map I was on when I was doing the hay and forage pack videos. And then we have Holt Bederun, right, the French map. The new French map. We have Elm Creek, the new American map. Those are all base game maps. We have Silver Run Forest from Giants. We have the new Eastern European map, though that's only 5. A lot of speculation as to what could be the 6th map. I know in the preview, the preview was pretty stingy. I mean, if you go back and look at it, they showed like 3 or 4 scenes, 3 or 4 times. Some from slightly different angles. There's a whole lot of that map we haven't seen, remotely any of. Artemis, what's up? There's 5. There's Elm Creek, Halt Betheroon, Erlengrot. All 3 of those are base game maps. There's Silver Run Forest, and then there would be the Eastern European map that's part of expansion 2. That's the 5 that you could come up with for the premium edition. That is correct. There's one that's not been released, not been announced. It sounds like maybe that will be rectified this weekend. That's something I pointed out to Key, included, right? It wouldn't be the first time that we have seen a map that was somewhat tied to the FarmCon location. So that might be a thing. %. I would think, right? I thought Pack 3 would be a Dutes, and that would be announced at the event, if not released at the event. Now I got kind of a story, and some of you probably be like, I told you so. With the with those grass contracts I had last live stream, right? I couldn't pick them up with a forage wagon. You tell me if I get the Temp Anywhere mod, then I can do that. I didn't bother with that. And I had that one field 27. The contract was complete, and I still had grass to bale. And I was baling that grass before we went off air. And then I decided I would just finish baling later. So I saved out and quit. Well, earlier today before the live stream, I booted the game up. I was like, all right, while I'm waiting for the go live time, I'll just bale up this hay. Nope. Wouldn't let me do it. Would not let me do it. The contract field was not blinking. The contract still said complete. I could still collect my money, but would not let me collect the grass. So somebody may say, I told you so. Once you complete a contract, don't leave if there's still things to collect or harvest apparently is the lesson we've learned. Because when you load the game back up, that completed contract will not let you do any more field work. I was able to collect the money, and I did have a few bales already made out. So I was able to collect those bales. And based on the money I got from those bales, I added some money into my account. As if I was able to have sold those bales. So you could say I made good on my own that way. Now this beet contract is going to pay me out $36,000. Right? It's going to put me over 200 G's. And that's why I was tempted enough to click accept. Well, hell, Hawk, I don't know if it's so much Giants doing good by dudes. I mean, in theory, there's contracts, there's terms on contractual obligations. If the contract for dudes expired and on all that equipment, right? If the contract was only for so many game versions or so many years, then they wouldn't be contractually obligated. And they're a business. Businesses don't profit from being nice to people, right? So if there wasn't a business decision, but trust me, you all do far more contract play than I do. Far more contract play. How are things, Dwayne? Did you know this is your video? Yep, so, you know. So hopefully there's some dudes. I mean, there's dudes fans for sure. I mean, I'm a bit one. I'm definitely a bit of one because these tractors just look angry. Oh, the angler. Oh, it's just like, right? This thing's a beast. And then get it in black. Oh, this thing's just a beast in black. But, right, your starting harvester on Elm Creek is a Dutes, right? It's your starting harvester. So, you know, that's one thing. It's just like, you know, what brand's on the title, what brand's on the cover art. And this time around, they basically sold cover art contracts to different brands based on your region. So the cover art for the US was not the same as the cover art for Eastern Europe, the same as the cover art for Western Europe, and so forth. So it was kind of, in essence, the cover art kind of lined up with local brands. Alright, we'll just park this here. I looked at these. I don't really feel like doing a 36-acre contract with soybeans, not with just one harvester. I'm 100% not doing a 24-acre harvest of cotton with a single harvester now. And there's no money in this. $3,000, no. But 38, yeah, 38. That's worth it. Spend a couple hours with you all doing a $38,000 contract on sugar beets, and then maybe buying the mill, and then maybe having a bunch of beets in the mill that I can then process into sugar, and then sell the sugar. Oh, Raven knew. Raven knew. No problem. Glad you got that worked out. Now you can enjoy the map. But yeah, all you had to do was buy the land. I was worried it was something like, for whatever reason, the land that the factory was on was not buyable. But when I did it, I just used the console command to buy all farmlands. And I have seen a couple maps where the land is technically buyable, but you can't click on it and actually buy it. The only way to buy it is through the dev console. You know, like it's kind of messed up. $300 contract. A Hellhawk. We do not know. We do not know if there will be a year 3 season pass for Farm Sim 22. There's some speculation that if there isn't a year 3 announcement about Farm Sim 22, then that's kind of a statement that there's going to be a new game release within the year. But if there is a year 3 season pass announcement, then likely there won't be a new game in 2024, because the people would be too busy making that content, right? You think at some point the additional content creation would tail off as modelers and mappers focus all of their time on the next big thing. So we will know. We might not know until, when did we get a year 2 season pass announcement this year? I don't know. I'd have to go back and look. Was it January, February, or March? I feel it may have been closer to March. I was asking Delilah, though. It was hazy here, and I didn't know if it was hazy or if it was smoky here. It kind of had a little bit of a smoke smell to it. But I didn't know if the Canadian fires were still raging or not. Shirley boy, what's up? When I'm unloading the Beets, I'll try to look and see when I made the folder for the year 2 season announcement. That'll tell me when it was announced. Now, last week we had a whole week of rain. That's what y'all need, is where these fires are, you just need a whole bunch of rain. Oh, the raging fire monitor site. Oh, how hot is it? What's your heat? It was mid 90s. No, not 90s, mid 80s here today. Year 2 season pass. Let's see. Year 2 season pass. The Pack 1 Gowl was announced in March. Season pass. That's the first one. No. That's when I reorganized it. Yeah. Oh, it was announced in December. So the year 2 season pass was announced in December. December 5th is when I have the date on that folder. So I would say, if we don't have a year 3 season pass announcement by the end of the calendar year, that might be a clear sign of intent. We might have a couple more expansions, a couple smaller expansions in the first half of 2024, and then a gear up for a big release. Until that, though, it's all speculation. No rain till September. How do you not have rain till September? Is it just naturally dry up there? $30C. What does that come out to? Well, I mean, what's your average, I guess? So you're having lightning strikes, but no actual rain. 80 Fahrenheit, but if you're not used to it, right? That's the thing. It's like you Canadians and your cold temperatures. If you're not used to minus 40, it's a bit frigid. Oh, yes, humid. I think we had more humid haze than smoke. Or a combination of both. It was starting to feel a little humid here. I think 92 would be like 40. 40, right? 40 is getting up there in the 90s. It's all good. Either way, if it's temperatures that you're not used to, it's hot. And we know that lots of houses in the UK are not air conditioned, so they're not really built for keeping those temperatures out for any duration of time. It's probably the percentage of homes here in the US that are not air conditioned is probably similar to the percentage of homes in the UK that are. That would just be a guess. It'd be a fun guess. So, back to FarmCon. Keep an eye on the FarmSim website for blog posts. Keep an eye on maybe their Twitter and Facebook for posts about any announcements that are coming up. I did post in the Discord announcement channel a English translation of the schedule. As we're dumping this load, I'll kind of maybe run that schedule through. And then you'll be able to kind of have a general idea of when to check the website for what type of information you're interested in. So as far as the FarmCon schedule will go, Saturday morning at 10 a.m. is a welcome to FarmCon. So that is Giants time. So that is CEST. At 10:30 a.m. it's 15 years of farming simulator. That's a half-hour presentation. At 11 o'clock they're doing a presentation on upcoming projects. At 11:30 in the morning on Saturday, they're going to do a session on premium expansion, The Machines. So a little bit of a look at the new equipment coming with the premium expansion at 11:30 in the morning, CEST on Saturday. That session is planned for a half hour. 1 o'clock, modding with Blender. At 2 o'clock, more on the premium expansion, the map. Okay. 2:30, general Q&A session. 3:30, agricultural milestones. I don't know what that means. Maybe that's kind of a Doots presentation. 4 o'clock, baling royale finals. That would be with the bale stacking mode. Oh, that hurt. And then we move into Sunday. Sunday. Down at the fairgrounds. All right. So, Sunday at 10 a.m., Farm Sim Production Pipeline. That might be, I don't know if that's like a presentation on kind of like how things get made into the game. Or what? The session I think everyone is really going to want to check out information on is going to be at 11 a.m. on Sunday. Third-party mod on 11 a.m. Sunday. 11:30 session on script modding. 12 o'clock a modding Q&A session. And then the FSL finals are going to be also on Sunday at 10 a.m. So they're kind of running two sessions back to back there. And then that's FarmCon. Oh, Tuki almost got taken out by a windstorm. Alright, so it's not the same percent. So 22% of the US do not have AC. 95%, 99.5% in the UK do not have AC. So a little while. I don't know when we had ours. We had one that came through many years ago. I don't know if it was in the 20-teens. But we were without power for a whole 16 or so hours. But I got a coworker that was without power for over a week. In town. Right, that's even in town. Well, yeah, I mean, everything that was refrigerated or frozen would have been a total loss at that point. I mean, it's something that I have wondered is why don't gas stations and grocery stores have a generator on their pumps for gas stations and a generator on their freezers for the grocery store? Is it just cheaper to just claim insurance losses? It's cheaper to just pay for the insurance and toss it all. But I mean, imagine being the only gas station in town that can literally pump gas. I'm making money. No one else is. That's my thought process. Imagine being the only grocery store that can actually sell stuff to everyone else in town that has no power. That's what I'm coming from. We got your back. You're without a freezer. You're without a refrigerator. Right? We'll stock smaller supplies for you. We'll stock little milks and stuff. That's where I'm coming from. That's some holy bubblegum. So for me, the sessions that are of most interest are 11:30 in the morning on Saturday. 11:30 in the morning on Saturday. 2 o'clock on Saturday. And 11 a.m. on Sunday. Those are the 3 sessions that I'm really wanting to get more information on. I mean, it'd kind of be interesting to hear about the production pipeline and whatever this agricultural milestones are. I think the 15 years of farm sim, we kind of, right, we kind of know that from the blog post already that they did. Yeah, I understand. I'm just thinking. I mean, at work, I got a generator. I got a generator that powers my main wiring closet. It powers my 2 data centers. I got 2 generators, 1 in each building. We put a massive generator in to provide power to our dining hall. So it's just that idea. If you could be the only guy in town that can actually sell product. But, you know, in the end, it's all about profit and expense, right? If you're not gonna earn enough while you do have power, or while you don't have power, to make it worth having one, then why have one? Well, and then to some degree, those old freezers. What are you doing? Doofus. Some degree, those old freezers, you can save money by replacing them because you'll have more efficient units that'll cool better with less power. Robert, good evening. Good evening. Oh. So the fire system required power. Yeah, I mean the fire marshal, he is the guy that can shut any business down. Everybody operates at his discretion. Right? You want to keep the fire marshal happy. Easily the most powerful guy in any town, county, city, fire marshal. Easy the most powerful guy. Oh no, what happened? Oh no, our auger's broke. Somebody needs to come fix it. Oh, but now it looks fine. That's an interesting visual bug. FTL Network, what is up, sir? What is up? Ah, Lollipop, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Fire marshals do like an annual inspection. They just want to make sure your fire extinguishers are up to date. Make sure you got smoke detectors, right? If they're battery powered, if they're run from a fire panel, make sure your fire panel's in good order, right? When was your last inspection or test of the fire system? Yeah, do you keep your hallways clear? Do you have clutter? Fire marshals don't like seeing a bunch of boxes stored places. You know, things that are obviously fire hazards, potential fire hazards. They're the office that lets you know when you can't occupy a building for right? So they sign off and when they deem the building safe for use. You could say they're the ultimate health and safety official. Well, then you have the health inspector, right? Restaurants, probably grocery stores have to deal with health inspector. Make sure your fridges and freezers are the right temperatures. So you want to be on a good rapport with your health inspector. If you're a business, you want to be on a good rapport with your fire marshal. Yeah, you just pile them up. I mean, that's the way they work, right? So what do y'all think of the what do y'all think of the new crops? Carrots, parsnips, and red beets. I think the D-Wolf stuff looks pretty cool. Uh-oh. I mean, you know, for me, I'm at the age where if I get carded, you just look at the person and say, thank you. Thank you. There's no way I look anywhere as close to being 21. Thank you. Diablo del Toro, this video is brought to you by you, man. How you been? How you been? Might as well go sell this load. Oh, that's no good. That's no good. I am doing some beets for cash. We're gonna get $36,000. for this beet harvest. So that's not bad money for just having to drive around a little bit. Well, Grenade Racer, you think about it. I mean, all of these crops are large crops, right? They take a lot of space. So, you know, it's why you get so many liters worth of sugar beet. Well, a single sugar beet is a heck of a lot bigger than a single grain of wheat, right? So just because the crop is so large, they're going to need to be dumped to have any sort of actual yield. No, Delana, what you're saying is they don't really want to do any other actual work. So 50% transported. So, I mean, it's not that big of a deal. No, I suspect they'll be more ball-shaped in appearance. I mean, they're going to look like regular beets. At least what I call regular beets, edible beets. I didn't have a clue. I didn't know sugar beets existed until I played Farm Sim 17. And then, I don't know, I kind of thought it was a made-up crop. I didn't know what it was. Never heard of it. So, red beets, they're the edible beets. At least edible by some people. So, I think they're going to be, you know, more bulbous in shape. I don't really know what a parsnip looks like, other than maybe a white carrot. I mean, whatever you want to call them, right? Yeah. We won't know till, I don't think we haven't seen a sugar beet fill plane yet. So we don't, or not a sugar beet, a red beet fill plane. We saw carrots, right? We saw carrots in the Trail de Wolf harvester. At least what I assumed was a carrot. But no, I don't think they're gonna look anything like that. I think it's a European thing. Honestly, I think the radish thing is, I think, a European thing. Now, there are plenty of folks that do cover crops like that, right? There are folks that will plant wheat or barley in the fall, and they will basically cut it in the spring for silage or cut it for hay when it's still a very tall grass, and then they will kill it with herbicide, and then plant something else like corn. Not worth my time. I definitely don't use it. I don't think, you know, for me, the benefits aren't there. But I play the way I experience farming in real life, or I see farming in real life. So there's that. But you know, all I know is what I know. That's how it is with lots of folks. You know, there's a lot of Europeans that are super stoked about carrots, red beets, and parsnips. I'm interested because it's different. You'll be like, you know, I'll give it a try. Probably do it for about a month and be like, okay, been there, done that. I really probably won't do it that often going forward. Same with, you know, the platinum expansion stuff. Do it for a little while, then move on. I would like to see vegetables. I would like to see like peas and beans, various bean crops. I would like to see orchards. I would like to see fruits. That are not just de facto grown in greenhouses. But it's a global game for a global audience. I mean, yeah, we've seen a few maps in a few versions of FarmSim that have offered cob corn harvesting, right? You know, nut production. The old farm countryside gave us pistachios with a tree shaker. We had a tree shaker mod for olives that, in my opinion, was kind of maybe poorly implemented because the yield just wasn't there. Right? It was like, is there any real benefit for me to do this? But almonds, pistachios, other tree nuts, to be able to use a shaker and collect those nuts. Would I buy? Yeah. Although, honestly, I'm not the best person to answer that question because I would, if I needed to buy a DLC, I would probably buy them all anyway. Because of the amount of time that I put into Farm Sim is pennies on the hour. So even if I paid full price for every DLC that was released, it's still pennies on the hour. It's the cheapest form of entertainment I can have. It's cheaper than buying a book and reading a book. You know, you're not going to get thousands of hours of enjoyment from a single book. You're not going to get thousands of hours of entertainment from let's say $150 purchase. And if you add up all the DLC and the base game, you're probably around there now. $150, $120. So yeah, I probably would. I mean, full disclosure, and we probably all know this. Full disclosure, I haven't paid for Farm Sim content since something in FS19. I bought the Alpine Farming expansion in FS19. That was the last thing that I paid. Full disclosure. But I would have paid. Yes. I did pay for all those giveaway DLCs. But, yeah. Yeah, you know, so if you can get thousands of hours of happiness from one album, or a collector's edition set of albums, right? That's about the same thing. So like, let's say you're a giant Beatles fan, and I don't know what like the ultimate Beatles collection costs. Like, let's say it's, you know, everything the Beatles have ever released, and it's all you listen to for enjoyment is Beatles music. It's similar to that type of pennies on the hour investment. So, you know, would I be a little disappointed with some of the DLCs that have come out in 22? Sure. You know, I don't really use Antonio Cario at all. The Gouville stuff will probably be used not that much. From the time to time, I'll probably get the stationary baler just for a change of pace. I think the most items I'll get use of out of the Kubota, the Vermeer, hay and forage. Honestly, I'll probably get more use out of hay and forage than Gouville. I really like those. I really like those windrowers. Well, Tookie, I wonder how much they're still. I wonder if they make any money off of them being on Steam. Right? I wonder if they sell. What type of how much they sell FS 9 or not 19, 15, like 15 and 13 and 11 on Steam. I might after FarmCon maybe remind me to make that suggestion. If they ever thought about releasing, let's say 15 and back on GOG. Well, I would tell you what. I would go to Steam and check out the summer sale for games that we enjoy playing together. There's some pretty amazing deals right this moment on the Steam summer sale. Can't go into any more details. Other than saying lots of games we play on the channel have lots of very good deals. ATS for sure. ETS2 have great sales currently. SnowRunner is on sale. I don't know if that's like, I don't know how that compares to some of the other sales SnowRunner has been on. A set of Corso Competizione on sale. Lots of stuff on sale. Well, I think the Steam summer sale. So did you see the Oklahoma post today from SCS? Yeah, they were showing off. Tulsa, I think. And at the bottom they said, you know, it's not releasing yet. There's still some things that they want to show off before they release Oklahoma. And I see the summer sale ends July 13th. we have an open beta for 148 now. Right? July 13th is in 2 weeks. So after the summer sale's over, they release 148. All the ATS discounts go away. And then Oklahoma drops mid-July. That's my new working theory. I did not notice that, Cookie, because I would not have picked up that. I mean, they're called the Sooners already, right? So I would not have picked up that. I can't spell worth a damn. So I wouldn't have picked up that Sooners was spelled different than Sooners should have been spelled. Even if it is a different spelling, I don't know. Hell, I can't even spell good enough to have spell check work. Spell just throws up in its hands and says, WTF, man, I don't know what the heck you want. I think you're like, I know that's spelled wrong, but it's not giving me any suggestions. So then I go through like 5 different iterations of how might it be spelled, and then suddenly it's able to suggest the right one. There's a decent price on Red Dead Redemption 2. I heard we may be seeing Red Dead Redemption, the original, come to PC gaming. Apparently there was a someone found a graphic showing Red Dead Redemption's game rating for the Asian market, and it mentioned like the code for a PC was listed there. Hillhawk, I mean, the big problem with multiplayer streams for me is unless it's on a map and a game save that doesn't run 24/7, right? It's only going on when we're actually streaming. It's hard to do. Because, right, we're streaming tonight because there wasn't a map drop tonight. Or today. But what if there was a map drop today? Then we wouldn't be streaming tonight. We'd probably be busy working on the map. Yesterday a map dropped, so I was also doing a practice race for our Sunday night championship. Right, so I had to squeeze both of those in. So on like a running multiplayer, I kind of need to have things to do to stream, and that's one of the things that, you know, with when we had a Carpathian server, it'd be like, okay, what needs to be done? And it'd be like, oh, there's nothing really to be done. Oh, well, okay. Now I gotta go figure something else out to do, right? Now, like on Hoff was a gameplay save that didn't really run unless we were in it. And then when we left, it paused. So if we couldn't get back to it but 1 day a week, it was no big deal. Schultz, what is up? How is your new card? How's your new card working out? Sounds like my room. Yeah, sounds like my room. The home office is like a 10 by 9 room. It's a small bedroom. And, well, a couple hours with the gaming machine running and the door shut, it gets up there. It's very, very, very noticeable when you open the door afterwards that everything else in the house is a lot cooler. So last year, I think maybe last Father's Day, or they combined Father's Day and my actual birthday, and they got me a portable air conditioner for that room. So it's not a window unit, it's a floor unit that ducts out the window. So I turn that on when we're gaming or creating, you know, recording, and it cycles on and off to keep the room cooler than it used to be. Schultz needs to just sit on some ice. Well, off we go, another run. It's the Steam Summer Sale is definitely a good time to maybe check up on DLCs for games you own. There might be some good deals there to be had. You know, ATS states to pick up, expansion packs to be picked up. I've seen people like tent their PC and then have fans blowing air into the tent, if you will, and then the tent is ducted out the window for the hotter air. But yeah, if you've got a graphics card, it's pushing 300-400 watts. It's a 300 or 400 watt heater. Let's see what percentage we're at now. Did you have anybody out to look at it? Is it like the compressor? I was looking the other day. I need to put some more insulation on the back on the I guess the condenser lines coming to the outside unit. I saw the insulation on those was gone. 63% done. Two weeks to get a new one. Oh. What kind of... He just needs to pull one off of someone else's house. Tell Darlene no more cooking at home. No more cooking. We gotta order in. Order in, or we're eating cold stuff. Salads and fruit. Dude, we got a gas oven, and oh my gosh, it heats up the house. Oh, it's just... You don't want to really cook something in the oven during the summer. So Schultz is making some burritos. That's what I'm hearing. He makes burritos. Now, I had some ranch today. I had a Cobb salad for dinner with buttermilk ranch dressing. I thought about a certain some folks. Yeah, we had I had borrowed a kilowatt power meter from work, and I plugged it into the cord that goes into the wall from the gaming PC. So, you know, it was measuring the power from the wall for the PC, the 3 monitors, the wheel, you know, and in full bore gaming, like in something really demanding, it would pull like 600 from the wall. 600 watts. So that's a 600 watt heater. Nicholas Salmon, welcome. Welcome to the party. We are 65% done. Yeah, this is taking a while. But $38,000 payout, it's going to be worth it. We're going to have over $200,000 when we're all said and done. What are you doing? I got suckered in. I had to do the contract. So yeah, you're definitely pulling over 500. Then steak smashed buds. What's a steak smashed spuds? Are you having steak, mashed potatoes, and fresh shrimp? That is an interesting mixture of concoctions. Maybe I'll do that for the launch party. I make everybody use 1-row carrot harvesters. Yeah, they're like, you know, giant shrimps. Maybe for Schultz, we'll make him do the beets. You'll have to harvest the beets, take them to the beet canning place to make canned beets. Now that self-propelled DeWolf harvester, that looks pretty good. That's a whopping 4 rows. Now, for those that weren't here earlier, we talked a little bit about the FarmCon schedule for this weekend. It does not look like FarmCon will be streamed this year. Sad, I know. Sad, I know. But it sounds like there will be recordings of the sessions posted on the Farm Sim Community Corner YouTube channel after the fact. But some notable sessions are Saturday at 10 a.m. This is all CEST time. Saturday at 10 a.m. It's going to be a 15 years of farm sim. And then it's going to be at 11 o'clock, a presentation about upcoming projects. Maybe we're going to hear about phase 3 and 4 of the Year 2 Season Pass. 11:30, we're going to have the premium expansion, The Machines, is what it says. So a session specifically dedicated to the machines coming to the premium expansion. At 1 o'clock, a session on modding with Blender. At 2 o'clock, a session on the premium expansion map. Right, I got some interest there. At 2:30, a Q&A session. And then at 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock, some sort of agricultural milestones presentation. I think that's going to be like a Dude's Farm presentation. Sunday morning at 10 a.m., a Farm Sim production pipeline presentation. I think that's basically going to deal with how things are basically produced for Farm Sim. You know, the steps that things have to go through at Giants. At 11 o'clock, a session on a new third-party mod. Sunday at 11 o'clock. Could that be Creative Mesh and Straw Harvest? Could be something else. 11:30, a session on script modding. 12 o'clock, a Q&A session for modding. That's it. That's FarmCon 2023. There's rumors afoot. We might learn about this 6th map. Is that any way a part of phase 3? Is that any way a part of phase 4? Is that any way a part of this third-party mod? It is a bit of a letdown. Kind of expected it in these times. But from what I understand, Dutes is located where there's pretty poor internet. Now I do understand that they're going to be streaming the Farm Sim League finals at a minimum. So with that, they have the tech to do it. Maybe we'll be pleasantly surprised. We don't know. They do say that there will be, or should be, blog posts coming out to coincide with certain sessions. So keep an eye on the Giants website, Twitter, Facebook pages for those blog posts. Yeah, I'm not getting up early. I'll just see whatever's been announced when I get up. I do know there's some US-based creators that are already over there. So I'm sure they will try to find some way of putting content out around those sessions. That's kind of if they bought a data plan, right? Otherwise, they'll be limited to what's available at the venue or what's available at the hotel. %68 done. I can tell you if I went, I would. My work phone. My work phone is AT&T, and it's got a business plan. And the business plan has international roaming and has international data on it. But nope, I'm not there. But I mean, technically, consumer plans don't have any sort of international coverage as far as text, voice, and data. Right? Typically that stuff's got to be bought ahead of time. Or if you've got a phone that has a removable SIM card, right? I think you can buy SIM cards at the airports to use. Because like everything else in general, they're on a totally different standard than we are. Let's go back and work on this. I want to fold up. We're going to do this for a little bit. I don't know. You had an interesting setup for the Farm Sim show at PAX. It was basically an iPad with pair of Rode mics that apparently were picking each other up, but that was off of convention Wi-Fi. But I don't know. I never traveled international. The only time I've been out of country I was in Canada, and that was before cell phones were a thing. Or before cell phones were a big thing, and that really doesn't count because Canada and the US, we're basically on the same standards. So it's a little different. Now there are no mods dropped today. Right, we'll see if mods get dropped tomorrow. We went to Toronto. It was a band trip. So we went to Toronto and played somewhere. I don't know. Swung by the falls for a visit. But that would have been like 1991, maybe. So, yeah. There you go. We've dated ourselves a little bit. There probably aren't going to be any mods tomorrow because everyone's getting Farm Sim set up. Yeah. The only thing that might drop would be any sort of surprise Dutes mods on the weekend. You were possibly not even born then? Possibly? Yeah, I know we had two band trips. One band trip was to Florida, Disney World, and it was like literally right before Universal Studios opened. Or it was like right after Universal Studios opened. And we had to pick. We had to pick which park we went to. And I picked Disney World. Pretty sure that was my freshman year. And then I think my junior year we went to Canada. I don't think we went to Canada my senior year. So yeah, that was the fun times. So lots of things have changed since then. I don't know when in the year it was. I don't remember at all when in the year it was. Well, we'll see how well he races on Sunday. Or maybe he'll say he can't race because it's too hot. It's too hot in his room, so he can't race on Sunday. It'll be so sad. But I think his competitive nature will prevail. Raphael, what's up? I don't think he'll be able to let the points go away. Did you practice on Missiano? Oh, that Dwayne's gonna hold you. He's gonna hold you responsible. Well, I kind of forgot to change the server over until yesterday late afternoon. Oops. But yeah, you can go in now. It's a pretty easy drive at the Ferrari. The only thing I'm a little sketchy on is there's a curved back end straight. That's high speed, right? Your fifth gear, you're pretty full on that throttle. Fifth gear, and then you gotta brake, you gotta downshift a bit, and it goes into a hard sweeping right. And then about the time you get straightened up from that sweeping right, you got to get on the brakes super hard, downshift for a first gear right turn. So if you are not careful, you can lock the wheels up by downshifting too early and just totally lose it on that first braking area. So how that corner or that set of corners will end up being on worn tires with a cooling track is unknown. Especially towards the end of the race when you're light on fuel. Three-inch dead zone is not good. Three-inch dead zone is definitely not good. So you got an wheel picked out, Genetic? All right, this is gonna be my last load for the night. I gotta work in the morning. I'll finish this contract up tomorrow afternoon. We'll see what we're doing tomorrow night. Let me know if anybody seriously wants to do a multiplayer on that UK map that came out. I think it'd be a really cool 5-person map where you start in Farm Manager and you can build out your farm and then kind of go from there. Well, there is benefit into sticking with the ecosystem there. Right? It's definitely something to be said about staying with the ecosystem. Oh, Canada. Alright, guys. Thank you for coming out and watching. Thank you once again to Diablo Del Toro and Dwayne for sponsoring today's video. Or as Dwayne is known now, Snakebite. I don't know why, but I just think about, I don't know why I think about the Nemo movie. Snakebite. Ooh, ah, ah. That's all I think about. It's funny. It's funny in my head, at least. I don't care what you think. Keep an eye on the channel. See what we schedule up for tomorrow. If we schedule anything up for tomorrow. Tomorrow's the last day of June. So hard to believe that we are literally at the tail end of the first half of the year already. 2023 is halfway done, folks. So next time, happy farming.